Hey, welcome back to the Pit and Paddock Race Show. Only NASCAR in action last weekend at Richmond. Um, Bit of an interesting start in the wet. NASCAR tried out the damp tires fairly successfully, no issues.
I like the damp
The
tires.
damp tires,
Yeah.
it's a good idea. It saves 3 hours of watching jet dryers go around the track.
How long did it take for them to finally throw on some damp tires?
I think the race only started 10 minutes late.
I mean, years. Like, it's
Oh,
been, like, what, 200 years since they started NASCAR? And
yeah, everyone always said it was too dangerous on the oval, and I said, "Why? Let's try it."
they were okay. I mean,
Well,
it's not like they're inters or full wets, but it's a start.
it's better than watching water dry.
So they're damps. They're just damp-only tires. Like, you gotta blow off the track.
It's the same tires they use on the road course, the wet weather ones,
Okay.
but they don't run them on the oval while it's raining.
Do they have a color? Like, inters are green and full wets are blue?
I wish they did. You know what? I think they have a blue stripe on the outside.
It should be like a lavender stripe because they're not really wet tires.
The oval wet tires.
Yeah, they're kind of wet tires.
Weird concept. So, Denny
Yeah.
Hamlin survives Richmond. It looked like a Martin Truex day. Dominated pretty much the whole thing until um, Kyle Larson got spun out by Bubba Wallace, bringing out a late caution. Denny Hamlin jumps the restart, and NASCAR misses it, but he wins the race. No penalty.
I saw him get out and celebrate. He's got enough gray hair that he could drive a Corvette.
He's getting up there. He's about ready to get the phone holster on his belt.
Yeah, I don't know. How come when you turn 60, if you have money, you get a Corvette? I mean, in America. If I had trophy car money, I don't think I'd get the Corvette. I don't know. What would you get if you
No.
had trophy car money?
I like the mid-engine Corvette a lot better, though.
Oh, the new one?
Yeah,
The thing is that now it just looks like all the European super sport cars. Like, it's not. It was always kind of unique.
that's true. But what kind of money do you have? Do you have European supercar money, or I want to look like I have a European supercar money?
Like, what if you had like Lambo money? What are you getting? Ford GT.
That would be pretty nice. And then I would realize it's so uncomfortable to get in and out of that I would get something larger.
Well, it's like a trophy wife. They're not really nice to have. They just look good. Except my wife. She's a trophy wife and she's nice.
So, Martin Truex dominates the race, loses it in the pits, gets passed by Hamlin when he jumped the restart that NASCAR says he didn't, but he did. And then, so he throws a bit of a fit after the race, running into Hamlin, dooring Larson. I thought it was kind of funny. He said later that, yeah, he was just really mad about losing that race, and sorry.
What happened to Ty Gibbs in the pits?
Ty Gibbs, once again, having a good top 5 finish, going to be in the mix for the win, and he gets a speeding penalty on pit road.
Don't you have a pit limiter? NASCAR doesn't have that yet, do they?
Your foot.
You have to actually pay attention to the speed.
Yeah, was it last week? Same thing?
Yeah.
It's pretty much coming down to the Gibbs 4 and 2 of the Hendrick drivers seem to be in the mix every week. Larson, sort of Elliott, and Byron.
Wait, Larson got spun by Wallace?
Yep. Oh, he did. He got spun.
Like a not nice on purpose spin?
It looked kind of on purpose, but Wallace apologized after, and it was not on purpose.
Oh, no, so he doesn't have to go to sensitivity training.
No sensitivity training.
Larson could tell him all about that.
Oh, he knows.
You have to race You have to race in the dirt for a year, and then you come back with a different team.
And win the championship.
I noticed because Truex won the first segment.
Yes.
Yeah. I like when Fox threw up, like the little cartoon picture on the side. Is it me or does Truex look like Commander Riker from Star Trek The Next Generation?
I didn't notice that, but he does. I think I'll call him number 1 from now on.
That's his name. Here's my big question. Why is NASCAR racing on Easter? I mean, Easter and Mother's Day were the 2 days that NASCAR never raced before. And here we are racing on Easter. And, I don't know. Why would you violate that? Did the France family turn Episcopalian?
I guess they don't care about Easter Sunday anymore. Maybe they'll be running on Christmas or Thanksgiving next.
I mean, the whole idea is you don't want to piss off all the wives. So you don't mess up Easter and you don't mess up Mother's Day. They would have a Christmas rule if NASCAR went that long.
It almost does.
Yeah.
Good win for Denny. Saturday. That was fun. Xfinity race. Chandler Smith pretty much dominates and wins. My favorite part of the race was Dawson Cram gets into Joey Gase, wrecks him. Joey Gase hops out of his car, rips the bumper that's shattered off the back of his car, walks down the track, and hucks it right at his window. Just a dart right to his window.
That was a pretty good shot, I saw.
It was a good throw.
Too bad it was fiberglass instead of metal. If it was metal, he could have put it through the window. That would have been a lot more interesting.
I just hope he doesn't get penalized because it's a great highlight.
Yeah, NASCAR needs it. NASCAR's all about the show. They're not gonna penalize him unless penalize him makes for a better show, and then they'll penalize him.
Hey, be careful.
Right? There is no bad press.
No.
What was your livery of the week?
My favorite one, I'm gonna go with the 7, Corey LaJoy in the Gainbridge Chevy. A nice yellow, blue, black. It's a good looking scheme. I like it.
I was going with number 19 car. I thought it was the Avengers logo on the hood.
Oh.
And then it turned out it was just an insurance company. I was pretty let down.
That one throws you off. You're like, hey, what a cool look. Auto insurance?
Really?
Boring.
Isn't that who sponsored the race? Like, they tried to make a different name for it, but it was just, like, insurance providers for Toyotas.
Toyotas, yeah, the
Toyota drivers or something like that. Yeah. It would have been cooler if he would have had the Avenger logo. And dressed like Thor. Like, put on a yellow wig. That would have been nice.
Also, I noticed that there was the 51 had some Walmart sponsorship. I haven't seen Walmart in NASCAR in quite a while. That was interesting to see.
Did they go out during the pandemic?
I don't know. It seems like an obvious place. But, I guess Walmart doesn't really need to advertise to the NASCAR demographic, though.
Yeah. Everybody used that excuse. What happened? It's a pandemic. Yeah. I'm like, why can't I get mellow yellow out west of the Rockies anymore? The pandemic. Everything was the pandemic. You can't. People are still blaming it on the pandemic. Wait, you don't have steak this week? No, the pandemic.
But we've still got 5 more years of that.
Yeah.
What? Michael McDowell drove a Long John Silver's car.
Not the singer.
No, the driver.
Okay.
Who? I had no idea Long John Silver's was still actually in business. I don't think I've seen one in years.
Did they do a really awful commercial like KFC with the Colonel getting funky? Didn't they have like trying to make Long John cool?
The pirate guy?
Yeah.
Oh, they probably did, and it's probably terrible. Because, nothing says quality seafood to me like a fast food chain based out of Kentucky.
Maybe they have Rocky Mountain oysters.
Oh, that would be a treat, wouldn't it?
Yeah. I don't usually eat seafood if I'm not near the ocean. It just weirds me out.
I'll do fried, like a Pete's Fish and Chips type of seafood.
Yeah, it's hard to say no to Pete's Fish and Chips.
But other than that, I really don't lean into that very much.
Or if you're in Vegas, I mean, I know they freeze it and fly it out there pretty fast. The Rio used to have, or still has, the seafood buffet. Like, it's kind of expensive, but it's all the seafood you can eat. I ate 26 lobster tails one time.
Did you take any home? You brought a little bag to...
That was one of my friends brought Tupperware in his motorcycle helmet. Like they were they weren't like a full like Maine lobster. It was like a little slipper lobster tail, but it was still lobster. It was just good.
This was expensive. I'm taking some home.
Oh, it was. Oh, we made him pay for every dollar. We got our money's worth from the Rio Seafood Buffet. It's still there. I'm sure it's still good. I just haven't been there a long time.
Well, coming up next week, another short track, Martinsville, for the Cookout 400. That's going to be 400 laps and 200 miles.
So, again, with the inflated numbers, what is this? Public schools? Why do they have to inflate the number to make it sound? Are they thinking nobody's going to come to the Martinsville Cookout 200?
It would just they should just go how many laps, then everyone knows.
Why don't you just call every race a 500 and, pretend that it's a 500, but it's really something else?
I like Formula One's idea. Just everything's the Grand Prix, and we don't need to worry about distance or time.
There's no numbers, except for the Indianapolis 500, which is actually 500.
Yes.
And so's the Daytona 500. It's 500.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What else? They've got to cut back on a lot of 500 miles.
The big one... Wait, Talladega's 500.
Mm-hmm.
All the big races show their real numbers, and all the little races want to inflate the number. It's like, I can wear my dad's shirt, really? Nobody believes you. In Formula One, it's the Asian invasion as they make their way to Japan this weekend, and then China 2 weeks after that.
It's been over 2 weeks since Red Bull has won a race. Will Max and Perez be sacked? Will Horner be sacked? Will Red Bull shut down and just cease operations completely?
Seriously, I'm hearing that Red Bull's falling apart. Like, the cracks are starting to show in the Red Bull empire. And I don't know. I'm not going to be surprised if you see Adrian Newey get bought off by Aston Martin. And because how many years does he have left? And Max Verstappen go somewhere else because, the guy that he likes the most is kind of on the outs. Helmut?
Yeah.
Helmut, however you say his name. German dude.
Perez could be lured somewhere else. I don't know.
I listened to some other talking heads, and when they said, speaking of Aston Martin, when they said, all right, who do you predict comes in 9th and 10th? And the answer was, whoever finishes in front of Lance Stroll. Seriously, how long can he keep Lance Stroll on that team?
They could be getting quite a few more points if they had a little better driver. He's not a terrible driver because but he's not top tier.
Yeah. When your billionaire daddy owns the race car team, you can stay on board all you want. But come on, when you're constantly beat by 5 positions by your elderly teammate, he's good.
Elderly.
Fernando Alonso. Stroll's good, but he's not at that very tip of the crust that F1 drivers need to be at.
He's could have a great sports car career for the next 20 plus years and do perfectly fine for himself.
Yeah, he's just the typical pay-to-play driver. I'm not quite good enough, but I've brought a lot of money to the team. But for Japan, I'm hearing hope for Ferrari and McLaren. Some of the smart people are saying that, this is an even track, and this is where you find out if your car is really good on all conditions. But I think there's too many high-speed straights for anybody to beat Red Bull. I could see it. I could see somebody finishing second other than Red Bull, but I just don't see anyone beating Max on this track.
It's like Bahrain practice. Ferrari looked like they had something for Red Bull, but Red Bull just sort of took out a little downforce for qualifying of the race and beat them anyway.
Yeah. Their car was that good. They could take out downforce and still beat you. Oh, we need a little more speed on the straight. There you go. Unless, it's going to be Red Bull unless someone lets another gremlin loose in the Red Bull paddock. And then we might see something different.
Australia gremlins coming after him.
Yeah. The historically, Japan has seen a lot of safety cars comparatively, red flags, weather, though it's not supposed to rain this weekend, but when you're surrounded by an ocean, who knows?
Godzilla.
Godzilla. What's the one with the three heads? Mantra? No.
I was just watching that.
I don't know. One of the other 50s Godzilla monsters
Yeah.
that comes out of... Not the new Godzilla. Not the one with King Kong and Godzilla where, like, King Kong's getting elderly and he's grouchy. The new one. I think that went straight to video. Or straight to streaming. Sorry. We don't go straight to video anymore.
One of them came out last week. We saw one last week.
Yeah. Maybe... Was that the one with King Kong?
There's been like 3 with King Kong so far.
This one he's like unhappy, like I don't have any friends and never got a wife, King Kong.
Pouting King Kong.
Yes. It is supposed to be cooler, and some people think that will help Mercedes, but I don't think anything's going to help Mercedes except the next formula.
Maybe the other teams won't show up. That would help Mercedes.
Yeah, that would help Mercedes. You heard both Mercedes drivers, as they get passed by Red Bulls, go, "That thing's a rocket ship." As in, and mine's not.
How long until there's something happens to the leadership at Mercedes here? It's been pretty much since the new formula, and that seems like they've actually become worse.
Yeah, you know what? Christian Horner and Toto Wolff have been in there for quite some time. I mean, if you're winning, nobody's going to touch you, but still, I mean, how many years can you do that high-pressure job?
I mean, Wolff did, champions 7 years in a row, but that's going to start wearing off at some point.
Yeah, I mean, he's an owner anyway. He can just back off and let somebody else go.
That's
Although, Flavor Flavio Briatore was 80, and he was team principal.
Oh, I miss Flavor Flav.
Yeah, he was funny. But when you
he
you made his driver wreck so they could bring out a safety flag and let Alonso win because the Renault was crap that year.
That was just throw a water bottle out of the car or something. That was a NASCAR trick.
All right, if you want to keep driving for the team, you have to crash on lap 17.
Hey, don't say that on the radio.
Yeah. Yeah, it always comes out.
Indycar, it's only been a couple weeks since Thermal, and we've still got 7 more months until the Long Beach Grand Prix.
Does thermal count?
I'm going to count it because they were on track.
Okay.
Well, since we're going to Long Beach, that drama's been solved with Jerry Forsyth buying the 50% of the Long Beach Grand Prix available, keeping it out of the hands of NASCAR and or Formula One.
You really think Formula One wins that race?
It's in L.A.
Yeah, that's true.
And I think I wouldn't put it past him to take a date from Austin and put one in Miami, L.A., and Vegas.
Oh, yeah. Well, they've got to keep the Vegas race because they're the ones who promote that one. And
They own it. They own that land where the paddock is at. So,
which is why it's $3,000 per person for the weekend pass.
not a little quick family getaway for the weekend.
Yeah. Not to mention it starts at 10 o'clock at night, which is why I didn't go, because my children would be asleep by the time the green flag...
I would be asleep by the time the green flag was out.
I want to see a race in the daytime. I want to walk around and see the cars and not try to see them at night.
Not even that. It gets dark at 7? Couldn't they just start it at 7?
Yeah.
I could deal with over by 9ish. That seems reasonable.
I mean, you're shutting down the strip anyway. It's not like anybody really drives down the strip to get to the casino. It's so congested, they just drive down the strip to see the strip.
Right.
So they're not really losing any money. Now that they have the light rail that runs all the way down, that's where most of the people take.
That, and then the roads outside of the strip are what all the cab drivers take anyways.
Oh yeah, Frank Sinatra Drive. That was the secret path for a long time. You can see the new paddock too from the Paris Eiffel Tower if you want to pay like $50 to go up and get a good view.
I got a bad view of it when we went to the Sphere. We saw a show there last year. Saw a little bit of the track being built.
Yeah, I wanted to see the paddock up close, but it just didn't look that impressive from a distance.
I'll check it out. They're supposed to set up sort of like a museum showpiece type whenever they're not racing there, so that could be interesting.
Oh, that would be nice. Yeah, they were supposed to have an Evel Knievel museum downtown too, and that never happened. Shattered
like his bones.
Yep. But anyway, we were talking about IndyCar.
Right.
The Long Beach Grand Prix. You know what? Andretti did pretty well last year with the first and second of Kirkwood, who no one had ever heard of, and Grosjean's in second, the always a bridesmaid driver.
Oh, man.
And Herta in fourth. So that's probably the best he did all year, huh?
Yeah. I think that's the best. Yeah, Romain and Herta. That seems like their best runs. Yeah. Andretti overall.
I don't know if Andretti had a better weekend than that one. 3 of the top 4.
No, it seems like the rest of the year it was just
Penske.
Grosjean and another teammate getting into it for most of the race.
Penske, Ganassi.
Penske and Ganassi.
Every once in a while, Grosjean's would almost win. Our sources tell us that the new hybrid IndyCar engine is going to make its debut July 7th at Mid-Ohio.
Hopefully.
Yeah.
So it's pretty much going to be like F1's hybrid engine that they've been running for 10 years now, the last 2 formulas at least.
Yeah.
It's when the battery charges while they brake.
Except, I know in IndyCar they're testing a harvesting paddle for ovals so that on tracks where you don't brake, when you go to lift in traffic, when you get behind somebody, you can pull the paddle and harvest some energy there. But no promises on if it's actually going to get used.
That was what I was wondering about, like, say, Texas or Indy, where they, just lift a little bit going into the turn. How are they going to charge the battery?
How are you going to charge? And it's still going to be like a push-to-pass type motor, as far as I know. It's not like it gives you power on demand, or, as you hit the throttle. It's kind of a separate throttle.
Sort of a turbo boost?
Turbo boost,
like a video game,
like on Battlestar Galactica,
yes.
Where they had the button Turbo Fire and that other button that nobody ever saw what happened when you pushed that button.
Don't touch the other button.
Did they have that when they did the new Battlestar Galactica? Did they still have the 3 buttons?
I doubt it.
I don't remember. It's been too long. Turbo. Okay, how do you use turbo in space?
I don't know. I guess you just have to accelerate more.
Yeah. It just looked cool when George Lucas's special effects team was designing the Battlestar Galactica equipment.
I can imagine some guy just put turbo on it. Turbo and fire.
Yeah. Fire, turbo, and we'll make something up for the other button.
We don't have the budget to put words on that one.
Yeah, we'll just put... It didn't say like I/M or something... I don't know. Nobody ever knew what that one was for. They didn't have missiles, did they? They just had turbo lasers? No, Star Wars had turbo lasers.
Yes. What, did they? I don't remember. I know the ships had missiles.
Yeah, I always wondered why Battlestar Galactica looked pretty good, and then I learned only last year that that's because Electric Light and Magic designed all the special effects for it.
That makes sense.
Yeah. I guess company can't survive on making a movie every 3 years and then 10 years off. They had to get some other work somewhere. They did Poltergeist.
Indiana Jones.
Poltergeist was the last physical model that they built.
Oh, I miss physical models.
After that, it was all CG. But that's another story. In other racing, I saw people racing to get out of church on Easter Sunday. For the people that go 2 days a year?
Yes.
Those people? They're like, it's over. Come on, let's go. My wife will be happy.
Trying to get out of there to get home in time for NASCAR, I imagine.
Yeah, exactly.
Exactly what they're doing. I saw that Liberty Media, the owners of F1, paid upwards of $4.4 billion for MotoGP.
That's a lot less than Netflix.
That is.
That's that's a math problem. If Netflix was $44 million and MotoGP was only 4.4, how much did Elon Musk overpay by? So I guess we can expect a Netflix series for MotoGP, like Ride to Survive or Slide to Survive.
Slide and barely survive.
Yeah. Hey, I've slid when I tried to do wheelies on my sport bike, and it's really creepy when you're just sliding down the asphalt and you can't stop. Because if you put your foot down, you're going to break your ankle, so you just have to wait for it to stop and hope nobody runs you over in the street.
You don't even have that suit of armor that they wear.
No, I didn't even have my leather jacket on.
Ugh.
I had like a t-shirt.
So I'm sure the first order of business is going to be to drive ratings up. My guess is they do that with Formula One, maybe even a combined race weekend somewhere, or maybe putting MotoGP on F1 TV also to get some more viewers.
Oh, so you can watch it on
As
the
part of
F1
your-
channel?
yeah.
The subscription one?
That's kind of a guess that I had.
You know, that would be cool. Like, instead of an F2 race, you get a MotoGP race and then a Formula One race.
I bring a lot of new eyes to the
Yeah.
to MotoGP.
MotoGP still uses Michelin's, I think. Michelin pilots were always what they used in MotoGP. But that's a different compound than the Pirellis on Formula One, so I don't know how that mixes.
Deal with it.
Yeah. At least with F2, they can make sure they get the same rubber down on the track. Like, you can't make that much of a difference that the rubber's a slightly different compound.
I think drivers just like to complain about it when they get a slow time. Oh, yeah, they had some other rubber down on the track.
Hey, we saw Indycar, well, Champ Car, when it was still split. We saw them follow NASCAR trucks at Las Vegas Speedway.
Yeah, and I heard about the rubber all through the race. Got to get rid of the truck rubber.
I think the first order of business for Liberty Media will be bigger numbers on the motorcycles.
So you can see who they...
Yeah, you got to be able to see who they are.
That's not a bad idea.
Yeah. That's the first thing I think it was one of the things they talked about. What are you going to do now that you bought Formula One? What are you going to do different? We'll make the numbers bigger. Seriously, what else have they done? And bring the Vegas and Miami Grand Prix.
Lose traditional European road courses and replace them with Middle Eastern and American street courses.
That make money.
Make a lot of money.
Yeah, the European old road courses, not many people were coming.
Cool tracks. Well, they still got Spa and Silverstone.
Spa's still the one I think I'd want to go see the most.
That's a cool track.
Out of all the, if we were going to go to one F1 race, well, maybe Houston, but then if it was Europe, I think Spa. I'm not going to the Chinese Grand Prix.
No.
It's
probably cheaper.
How many Middle Eastern? They have Bahrain,
Qatar,
Bahrain, and Saudi
Arabia.
Saudi might be fun.
Jeddah? Oh, you just have to dodge some missiles once in a while.
Yeah. It's, they should have it on the same weekend as Dakar so that you're in Saudi and you could watch the Dakar race and then go see Formula One.
They should switch the vehicles.
Yeah. That would be even funner. Didn't they have, was it last year or the year before in Saudi where they had, there was a terrorist bombing in the distance and you could see the smoke from the track?
Yeah, that was the Houthis were firing missiles around I think last year.
Oh, the Houthis and the Yemenis in their constant civil war.
Yeah.
I think they've been fighting that civil war since World War I, when the French and British came in and said, okay, you're this country, and you're that country, and you're that country, and now you guys, you're all one country now. Deal with it.
Okay, we're leaving. Good luck.
And yeah, have a nice time. Oh, World Rally had a safari rally in Kenya, which I thought was pretty cool.
That must have made for some cool pictures.
Yeah. I watched part of it. There was a lot of cool, safari planes and
just getting shots of rally cars racing behind giraffes or something.
Yeah.
Where do you watch the World Rally Championship? I've wondered. Is it on a channel or is it on YouTube?
Oh, I saw a little bit on YouTube.
Oh, highlights.
Yeah, somebody threw it up there. Yeah, we're not allowed to watch it in the States, are we?
Really?
I mean, I haven't found where you can really watch the whole race and the shakedowns and everything.
I watched it Years ago, it was on Speed, I think, but that I have no idea where it's at now.
Oh, we missed the Speed Channel. Who bought the Speed Channel and then killed it?
It became Fox Sports 1.
Oh, thanks, Fox. Now you have nothing. Well, they have NASCAR sometimes.
Yeah.
See, NASCAR was smart. They doled out their races. All right, you can have some, and you can have some, and you can have some. Then if, one of them does a bad job, they don't get any races next year.
Unless they pay enough.
Or is it smarter to be Formula One where you basically own all the broadcasting rights to all the races?
I think that one's the way to go. Then you don't have to worry about anything. But
Yeah.
they've got a worldwide base to deal with.
Yeah.
And they can offer, basically commercial-free races to ESPN and not worry about making money on it.
Yeah, ESPN doesn't throw any commercials in the middle, do they?
No.
Yeah, how do you make money when you're broadcasting an hour and a half with no advertising?
The rest of the planet paying for advertising?
Yeah. I mean, if you're ESPN, yeah, I don't know how they're making money off that one. I guess they're mostly counting on streaming.
I see brought to you by Mercedes in the corner when I watch it on ESPN. So I guess they just
It's a few dollars.
pay him some cash for that.
I don't know. I just got the F1 app. It's a lot easier, and you can
It is a lot better.
watch it whenever you want. And you get more Sam. Sam's the best part of Formula One.
Sam in charge of tech.
What's his last name? Sam
Collins?
Sam Collins. Yeah, they need to put more Sam Collins on there.
He's probably my favorite part of the weekend for practice.
I know. I wish they'd send him to the race. They haven't sent him out to the track once this year. He's been in the studio the whole time.
COVID. We can't be sending people around places.
COVID, yeah. Yeah, no, Sam used to go out, and he didn't even go out for testing this year. That was the best part, because he recognizes all the little bits and bobs, he calls them on. Oh, this guy put a tiny little scratch right here on his car. What's that mean?
Roaming around the paddock for 6 hours and testing. He's like, look, come over here. If you can see this, what are you pointing at? I can't see anything.
Yeah, Sam's fun. When he first came on, I'm like, who is this dude with the crazy hair? And then we heard him one time and we're like, Sam. We like Sam. So yeah, if Formula One, if you're listening, put on more Sam. He needs more shows.
I was trying to think of Sam at a NASCAR race in the garage. He's like, well, see, and trying to find something, but everything's exactly the same, so we would have nothing to talk about pretty much.
Oh yeah, it would all be... Yeah, how many adjustments can you make on a stock car anymore?
Springs.
Yeah.
Brakes.
Springs. He's got a round wedge over here.
No adding bits and bobs.
No, yeah. Don't they even get to do their own mirrors or anything? Like IndyCar at least gets to do mirrors and a few little things.
Well, they don't have mirrors. The inside.
Yeah.
But that's about it.
Just nothing. Just get the right pressure in your tire and the right spring, and that's how you win a race in NASCAR.
Pretty much.
I'm surprised they're not using more data and AI, because
they do use a lot of data, but
that would be the way if it's all set up.
Since the tires don't wear enough to matter that much, it makes for a rougher time.
NASCAR could do alternate tire requirements.
I think that would be pretty interesting.
Yeah.
Like a soft compound.
Yeah. You have to run the alternate tire at least one stint.
Too many good ideas. NASCAR's not going to do it.
Nope. They can't even stay away from Easter. All right. That's it for this week. We'll be back next week with actual races to talk about, at least in 2 of the series. And then sometime later in the year, we'll get back to IndyCar. Any final thoughts?
Man, I miss IndyCar.
Yeah. One of these days. Oh well. At least it's Long Beach, where it's really wide and there's lots of passing.
Yep. Gonna be good.